You like Huey Lewis in the news?
They're okay.
He's been compared to Elvis Costello, but I think Huey has a far more bitter, cynical sense of humor. It's also a personal statement about the band itself. Hey, Paul! Ah!
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Donald Trump is a man of his word. We certainly know that. After the first 48 hours in office, Donald Trump has done everything that he promised and more on the campaign trail. Just ask anybody who is confined to a federal prison on trespassing charges during January 6th. One of my favorite campaign promises of Donald Trump is his promise to destroy wokeness in our federal government and culture.
Was woke? I don't think so. What do you think, Mike? Mike, was he woke? I don't think so. I don't think he was too woke. He was the exact opposite. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay?
Wokeness is just a term for the vile orc-like racism of knuckle-dragging libs who can't compete, who are bitter because daddy never loved them, and they were shoved in too many lockers when they were in school, and they got all their chemicals all mixed up, ladies and gentlemen, their hair dyes, and it's affected their brains. And so now they've decided to take that all out on the rest of us, normal functioning society members, and institute things like DEI. Institute mandatory racism against the people who they don't like. And that's always ended badly, and every society has been tried, and Donald Trump is saying, no, that's not going to happen. We don't do that here. This is America. Trump obliterates DEI with new demand to place every federal diversity program and employee on leave by 5 p.m. Today, Junior. Donald Trump quickly made good on his pledge to sever diversity, equity, and inclusion policies in the federal government as he's set to lay off all DEI hires within 24 hours. The new Trump administration sent a letter to the heads of the acting government agencies informing them that federal employees in DEI roles must be placed on leave. Also, that letter includes all contractors because the vast majority of government work is done through contractors. All DEI offices and federal agencies are also being shuttered in the move, which comes after Trump signed an anti-DEI executive order in front of a cheering crowd in the inauguration on Monday. In a letter first obtained by CBS News, the agencies were ordered to take prompt actions against departments focusing on exclusively on DEI initiatives. The letter also demands that all public DEI-focused web pages be taken offline and orders employees with departments to report any efforts to disguise these programs using coded or imprecise language. Any employee that is aware of coded or imprecise language intended to keep DEI programs alive but not report them within 10 days are warned of adverse consequences. Trump's executive order titled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs and Preferencing the Initial Rescission of Harmful Executive Order and Actions directly reverses DEI executive order enacted by Joe Biden on his first days in office. What a complete cuck that dude was. What a nightmare we've just lived through. Tuesday's orders includes these programs divided Americans by race, wasted taxpayer dollars, and resulted in shameful discrimination. Way to go, dude. Way to go. Proud of you. Look at Joe Biden masked in the office sign. Oh, what did we just live through? Look at this. Trump orders all DEI programs to be placed on leave. The woke nonsense being shut down right in front of our very eyes. The days of pronouns and 87 genders are over. Sanity and merit is now the law of the land. To every reporter asking about this, I can gladly confirm, says Caroline Levitt, that all federal DEI roles have been placed on leave. See ya. Yesterday, President Trump signed the presidential memorandum to end DEI madness and restore excellence within the FAA. Oh, good. You know, you assume that you don't want the people flying your planes or inside of the control towers at your local airport to be hired because of their skin color. You would want those people, given the fact that you're in a giant tube flying at hundreds of miles an hour, to be the best qualified people to fly those tubes and to land them and to control them, right, from a radio set. So many mid-air collisions, so many like runway collisions, such a disaster. The TSA and airports were a nightmare over the last 4 years. I've never seen the erosion of America's infrastructure so quickly. Like every flight got delayed that I was on, like 9 times out of 10, the flights were delayed. And there's some type of like major problems at the airport. It's time to root all that out. It's too much at stake, obviously. Trump killed NIH and federal research grants to Harvard and other universities with DEI programs. DEI will be removed from all contracts. Contractors, university, must certify that it does not operate any programs promoting DEI. Agency heads must take measures to deter DEI at institutions of higher education and endowments of over $1 billion. Attorney generals will issue guidance to end DEI at institutions of higher education that receive federal grants. This is how you do it. You grab them by the balls with the federal money, because none of these institutions can survive without federal money. Trump administration directs all federal diversity, equity, and inclusion staff to be put on leave. Trump says his government will be eliminating any forms of DEI and only recognize 2 genders in his inauguration speech. Possibly the best line of the speech. There are too many to really count. Brendan Carr, he's the chairman of the FCC, says, yesterday, President Trump issued an executive order to end government promotion of DEI. Today, as chairman of the FCC, I'm extending the FCC's promotion of DEI. I am ending the FCC's promotion of DEI and will focus our work competently on carrying out the FCC's statutory mission. So there we go. That's just an example of one head of government agency that put the end to it. This young man was fired from the Space Force since he criticized DEI. Trump said he will rehire him. Promises made, promises kept. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Matt Lohmeyer. I was an Air Force F-15 pilot, and I was a commander in your newly created U.S. Space Force. I am also the first veteran of the Space Force because under the Biden-Harris regime, I was fired from my command and lost my pension for criticizing DEI trainings that were rampant in the military. Those trainings are still dividing our troops, and thank you for saying you would fire those few woke generals who are a big problem.
They're gone.
I'm going to suggest that it might, in fact, require ongoing oversight and a persistent, consistent, watchful eye within the Pentagon to ensure this monster never returns to the Defense Department. Will you consider establishing a special task force, office, or position to ensure that these monsters never return to the Defense Department?
You know what I'll do? And I'm pretty good at this stuff. Sometimes you get it wrong. I'm going to put you on that task force. I think it's good. Not going to do better than him. I'll put you on. Make sure you give the name. Thank you. Beautiful, right? I have your approval.
Yes, sir.
I have your approval. We're not going to get better than him. You're right about it. You're right. 100%. Thank you.
Birthright citizenship is dead. DEI is dead. Affirmative action is dead. Biden illegal immigrant app dead. Gender ideology dead. And it's only day 2 of the Trump presidency. Amazing. Truly amazing. Progress, ladies and gentlemen. You can see here. Chief Diversity Officers, Executive Council. And deleted. Yes. All of these web pages. There's so many of those examples you can't even name them. They're all getting deleted in mass. And the single dumbest and most screechy perfect example of a DEI hire, Joy Reid, is freaking out on MSNBC over Trump's sweeping DEI cuts. The federal government says there is an unconscionable pain being felt by this. Really. It's particularly evil. I always think of prisoners, people who are incarcerated, who have transitioned. You're going to take, trans women and put them in male prisons? What do we think is going to happen there? You ever think about the things that you're saying, or does it just come out? You ever think about? Have you ever had to defend your ideas at all, even a little bit of Socratic method? Trump provoked DEI, and y'all trying to act like black Americans gonna suffer the whole time. That was for white women and Asians, just like affirmative action. Well, Trump orders the FBI to preserve all records related to DEI office. They are shutting down. Preserve and retain all records, documents, and information. Now closed DEI office. Never should have been opened. If it was, should have closed a long time ago. Why is it they're closing one day before the inauguration? The FBI closes DEI office in December, the agency says. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's just convenient timing. You know, it really makes you wonder, what would the FBI be doing with DEI? The FBI is the largest police force in the country. It is the Gestapo arm of the federal government. They are the people who kick in the doors, right? Like they are the action arm of the DOJ. So they have a lot of power to terrorize and implement injustices and visit them upon American people. It really makes you wonder, like, what was the FBI DEI office doing exactly? What kind of work would they be doing? Acting Department of Homeland Security Benjamin Huffman sent a department-wide email this afternoon to all agencies that fall under the DHS, including the Secret Service, that he is taking steps to end all DEI-related contracts in compliance with Trump's executive order. These programs divide Americans by race, waste, and taxpayer dollars as a result of shameful discrimination. Huffman also warned that the incoming administration officials are aware of efforts by some to disguise their programs and asked that all personnel to report on any efforts that they are aware to obscure these programs and personnel. He provided a 10-day deadline included for this email, and he noted that there would be no adverse consequences for timely reporting this information, so get them all to snitch on each other. There'll be disciplinary actions later. The Secret Service has been one of the multiple law enforcement agencies, plus the Pentagon, that leaned into former President Biden's DEI initiatives, and you could obviously see the result of that: diversity, equity, and inclusion in the Secret Service. What a joke! What a joke of a country. A really great list here of everything that President Trump has accomplished over the last 48 hours, but here we go. In just one day, restored merit-based hiring at the FAA, ending an insane Obama-era push to put travelers' lives in the hand of incompetence. Ordered the closure of all federal DEI offices. Ordered the repeal of LBJ's affirmative action mandate. Prohibited the use of racial discrimination, or DEI, at federal contractors. Ordered federal buildings nationwide to stop flying the pride flag. Launched a Stargate project to create AI technology here in the United States. Unleashed ICE with the full authority to target criminals, and granted a full pardon to Ross Ulbricht. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. We are winning. I can't believe it. The golden era is here, and woke has officially turned to shit. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.